Greetings, everybody, and a special welcome to our contestants. Just want to say to you that we are very grateful. Thank you very much for having traveled this road with us. It may not feel physically like the comrades or like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, but actually what you have gone through is as others. So great gratitude to you. And we thank you for the fact that, you may have gone through this, but you actually have inspired tens of thousands of other people who have been following your journey, and you have contributed to the financial education, to the discipline, and to the management of wealth of many, many, many other people. As in any marathon, there can only be one winner. But insofar as we're concerned, you are all winners. And as City Press, we have decided to give you something nice to go and spend on all the frivolous things that you want to spend on, seeing you have all been so disciplined throughout this process. Lwandile, you have reached a major milestone in your life. 10 years of marriage is no small feat. So from us, the City Press, here is 5,000 Rand for you to take your wife and go and celebrate your 10th anniversary. And for you, Audrey, please use this money to go on that Cape Town holiday that the pandemic stopped you from going to. And Gugu, for a 30-year-old, you have been extremely disciplined, and you spend this money in any way you want. Go treat yourself to whatever guilty pleasures you want to treat yourself to. Nokawe, we know that the family has been looking at you askance because you have been putting them on this hectic austerity budget. So go and treat the children, go and treat the entire family with this little largesse. And Mareka, as a hard, single working mom, you deserve a spa day. Do something for yourself. Stefan, you and Henry definitely deserve a break. So with this, please go and spend it on goodies and a celebration of your next wedding anniversary. And at this point, I would just like to again thank our contestants, but also to thank my colleagues who worked very hard to push this through and to get this done, and to thank all the financial advisors who held the contestants' hands. And last but not least, to thank our valuable partner, Absa, without whom this entire thing would not be able to happen. And just to say to all at Absa that we have been working with, that this process, this project that we have been partnering on is not a small thing. It actually has changed the lives of many. It has contributed so much to the financial well-being and the financial health of so many South Africans. And we thank you hugely for that.
Good morning, everyone. I can sense the excitement and the anticipation that's in the air. So I'm going to try and keep my speech relatively brief. But firstly, on behalf of Absa, I'd like to welcome you all and to thank you for taking the time on a Saturday morning to spend an hour or two with us. So this is the 4th year that we've hosted the Money Makeover Challenge alongside Maya and the team at City Press. In the first 2 years, we were so lucky and so fortunate that we could actually celebrate this momentous occasion in person. We could have a lunch together. But due to all of the various lockdown restrictions, we are having to do some of this virtually. And while your personal safety is our first priority, I must admit, I do wish that I could have met all of you in person today. Any sustainable financial system rests on 2 pillars: well-functioning financial institutions and financially competent consumers and customers. Money is an integrated part of our everyday lives. And as consumers, you and me, we have to deal with large numbers of day-to-day decisions and choices when it comes to dealing with money. So financial topics are often perceived to be complex, and many of us grew up in families where money wasn't discussed openly. Certainly, in my own family, the conversations about money that I remember were about me making a request and my parents telling me how they didn't have the money for it. I certainly wasn't taught about saving. But financial education is very important because it changes lives. It's about helping people to make responsible and well-informed choices that pave the way to financial freedom. And a healthy financial future for themselves is important because it enables them, their families, and their societies that they live in and come from. So with some careful planning, financial freedom is actually not as difficult to attain as it may seem. And I'm sure, as you've all realized, even very small tweaks to your budget can make a big difference in terms of savings over time. Ever since Absa's rebrand in 2018, we've been on a journey to put our brand purpose into action and embed it into everything that we do. Our brand purpose has a single outcome in mind, and that is to bring possibility to life. And never more relevant than in the current pandemic that our purpose has become so relevant. So we embarked on this challenge to assist each of you so that we can bring your possibility to life. I've had a long working career working for different organizations in different industries. I've been involved in many projects where we have touched the lives of ordinary citizens, ordinary South Africans. But I must be honest, the Money Makeover Challenge will always stand out for me because it's not just about prize money, but it's about giving you the skills and the tools so that you are able to have long-term financial freedom. So thank you. In my eyes, you are all exceptional individuals. I've followed your progress closely throughout the past 6 months. And I must be honest, I'm very glad that it's not up to me to decide who's going to be the winner. Because in my eyes, quite honestly, you're all winners in your own right. So I'd like to applaud you, each and every one of you, for the hard work and the dedication and the strong will that you've shown, even when times were hard and you were faced with some very tough choices as we all respond and recover from the pandemic. So I really am grateful, and I'd really like to say thank you to all of you for sticking with it and seeing this through. At Absa, we invented a very special word as part of our brand relaunch. That word is Africanacity. Africanacity epitomizes the uniquely African ability to always find a way to get things done, no matter what. So let me conclude by wishing each and every one of you all the very best in your future, and in the spirit of true Africanacity, may you always find a way to get things done with Absa as your financial services partner. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those messages. And hello to the 2021 Money Makeover candidates, this year's cohorts. Francois, I want them all waving. I want to see them all. Hello, guys. And I hope you got what Mondley was telling you there, which is that each of you have got 5,000 Rand. And the only instruction, this is the gift from City Press to all of you, the only instruction I have is you may not do anything sensible with it. I do not want it going into emergency funds. I do not want it to pay off debt. I want you to enjoy it because you deserve it. That is the only criteria I attach to that. So thank you so much, all of you, for being here and for this incredible journey that I have had the great privilege of sharing with all of you. So thank you. Now, as I think you've already heard, this is actually this is the 5th year we've run Money Makeover at City Press. For 4 years, Absa has been our sponsor, and I can't begin to say thank you enough to Absa and the incredible support they have given this, and especially you, Liesel. Liesel Square, who's just been like the cheerleader of Money Makeover. I think she feels as passionately and strongly about it as we do here at City Press. So thank you, Liesel, for that. And I'm hoping some of our other previous candidates from previous years are going to be joining us today as well, just to see and just to see the new. They've all been keeping up with you guys. They've all been wishing you on WhatsApp. They've been WhatsApping me, wishing you guys all a lot of luck. Now, for those of you who are watching who may be new to Money Makeover, just to give you a little bit of idea of how it actually works, every year at City Press, we do a call to action, and we ask people if they would like to come and join the challenge, and we get a whole lot of applications, and then we whittle them down to 6 people. And these 6 people, whenever I look for somebody, I look for somebody who's got an interesting story. They represent perhaps a certain group of people that I think they'll resonate with. Will they resonate with our readers? We look at a whole lot of different aspects. And these are whittled down to 6 people who then go on to what is essentially a money boot camp. They are each paired with an Absa financial advisor who helps them formulate their goals and their plans. So I want to also say thank you to the advisors today, because you guys are incredible. Without you, this is not possible. And it's your hard work as well as the candidates that actually achieve these results. And I also want to say a very special thank you to you, Sarah and Nkwana, just for overseeing the advisors. You have been an amazing champion of Money Makeover this year. Every year I'm blown away by how much the candidates achieve in just 6 months. In fact, it is just to me illustrates over and over and over again the simple principle of, if you take control of your money, if you have a plan, you can turn yourself around. You don't need a windfall. You don't need a miracle. You actually just need self-discipline and a plan. And this year is no exception. And I must say, this year has been very challenging running the program, with COVID lockdowns, and I think just general fatigue that's making everybody really just struggle a bit. You have all, despite all of this, continued and achieved your financial goals. And on that note, I do want to take a moment to remember Elton Govender. His loss was absolutely devastating for me on a personal level, but also to Money Makeover. Elton has been part of the Money Makeover journey right from when we first partnered with Absa, and his candidate Howard won in the first year, and he was just such a supporter of Money Makeover, and he so believed in what we were achieving here, and his loss has really been felt. And I'm sorry that, or I know some of you had interactions with him, and I'm sorry that that his time with us was cut short, because I think he was such a valuable member of Money Makeover. So I just really want to take a moment just to reflect on Elton. Right, now to the interviews. So I want to introduce, for all of those who are not the candidates, I want to introduce the candidates to you one by one. But because, of course, we didn't want to run into technical issues, bandwidth, we did these as pre-records, and these videos will run in alphabetical order. There's no favoritism here in the order of these videos, which means, of course, we're going to start with Audrey. And I just want to give you a little brief overview of why I selected each candidate, what brought them onto that list of 6 people. And when I saw Audrey's application, what kind of stood out for me was that she was represented what so many parents in their 40s are facing, which is recognizing that they've got to look after their own retirement. It's coming up at some point, but also needing to educate their children. And how do you balance those two? And I know that Audrey was even thinking, like, do I cash in some of my pension fund to help my children? Which is why I thought we needed to intervene immediately. And Audrey also recognized that she was struggling to form a household budget, her and her husband working together on their finances. So I want to now pass over to Audrey's video, and so you can hear from Audrey herself.
So Audrey,
It's been what, 6 months since you joined this challenge. Was it a good idea looking back? Do you think it's been worth it? And how much has your life changed in the last 6 months?
It has been a very good idea, Maya, especially in terms of finances, because I think that was the main issue for me, working with my finances. And also, like I said earlier, it forced me to relook at situations where I've always like had my head stuck in the ground, not confronting my finances. It's been an excellent journey for me thus far.
And what do you think the main lessons you've learned from it? Like, if you had to say, wow, there was one aha moment, like, I get this.
In terms of the wall, that was my aha moment, because when I spoke to Sonia, my financial advisor, she actually made me aware, because all of these years we would do our pension fund distribution. We have to do it. I think it's at least once a year. What happened was, in my thinking, I thought that you have 4 children, so if anything happens to either myself or Michael, any assets or any whatever is left to them would have to be split equally, because they are 4. But then, after speaking to Sonia regarding the will that she drew up for us, I became aware. She made me aware that you have to split it in terms of age. My eldest daughter is already in her 2nd year of university. So for me, it wouldn't have made sense to leave her an equal portion of money, whereas there's a 6-year-old that is still about to start school, which still has a longer way to go before she gets financially independent. So that was one of the aha. I had many aha moments in the course of the past 6 months, but that was one that really stood out for me. Another one that also stood out for me was starting to have conversations with my partner regarding our finances, where we think we are, where we should be, and where we want to be, where we're heading to. So a year ago, or more than 6 months ago, that wouldn't have happened at all, because he was on his own page, I was on my page. And then we would just once in a while maybe have a conversation regarding finances. Since I've started this journey, it has become a regular thing for us to sit and look at our finances, see what we've done, what we need to do, what we can change. In terms of our budget, we've managed to start to work on a single budget per se. At first, he was working with his budget, I was working with my budget. That was now a year ago, more than 6 months ago. But since I started the challenge, I had to force myself to have these uncomfortable conversations with him to make sure we are on the same page. And also, this journey forced me to look at my finances, to look at my debt. Debt was something that I would normally just pay the minimum installment and then see whenever. It wasn't a priority to actually pay off debt for me. But since I've started the challenge, I've made it a priority, and I think it will be a constant priority going forward.
Audrey, I did have a laugh in your motivational letter that you sent. You mentioned that Michael does the grocery shopping now because he's more disciplined than you. And I have to tell you, in my household, my husband also does the grocery shopping. He's so much better at comparing prices and doing that analysis. And I think it's important as part of a relationship to work out whose strengths and weaknesses, who's good at what, and dividing the financial labor, so to speak, that way. But just to sum up, Audrey, I also, what was really interesting for me as well is your decision to convert your garage into a cottage for income. And you actually said also in your motivational letter, you said, you got the SARS rebate. And normally you would have used that to treat yourself, spend it, but now you had a plan. And the renovation was the plan. So just take us through how you're renovating and when you plan on actually being able to rent out the property.
I've always received refunds from SARS, but I would always spend it on myself, spend it on the children. This year, when the refund came, because I already stated in my application that we want to convert the garage for extra income. It came at the right time. The refund came at the right time. We already had the structure, so with that money, I was able to now add walls, add in the windows, take out the garage doors, put in a sliding door. The refund allowed me to put into action what I had just had as a plan. And what we are planning on doing is finishing the renovation, hopefully by the end of December, because we are planning on letting it out from from January 2022. So August, we couldn't do anything because we had gone into another lockdown and that affected Michael's income. So we're going to start again now with finishing whatever we need to do, the ceilings, the floor, get it ready for occupation, hopefully by January 2021.
And I think, Audrey, that for me was such a good example of, telling your money where to go, giving your money purpose. And I think it's a lesson that I think a lot of people can learn, is that when you get these windfalls, don't look at it as a kind of splurge. Say, what can I do with this? Because you're taking that money and you're turning it into an income from the cottage that you're going to be able to do, paying off your home loan, retirement savings, all the other things that you want to achieve. So really well done on that. And thank you for being part of this journey.
It was really an eye-opener for me, Maya. Like I said, conversations about money is very uncomfortable, sometimes unpleasant, to say the least. But this has forced me. It has literally forced me to have these conversations, to say to my partner, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is where I want to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. Conversations we rarely had. It put us on the same page when it came to our finances, when it came to our children, when it came to our wants and our needs. And we were able to map out a path as to how we're going to get there.
Wonderful. I'm so glad, Audrey, and I'm so glad the journey has helped you and Michael so much, and your kids. So well done.
Thank you, Maya.
So that was Audrey. And now we're on to Gugu. And Gugu, for me, her application, when we got her application in, it was just so reflective of so many 30-year-olds. It's kind of like you've worked your whole 20s and you're now getting into your 30s and you suddenly think, but what have I got to show for it other than debt? I think I just realized that Gugu's story was going to relate with a lot of 30-year-olds. And she was also the time of her life where she was deciding what to do with her career. What next? Should she study? Should she start a business? Should she stay where she is? And I just thought that she really encapsulated, I think, some of the issues facing, the sort of average 30-year-old in South Africa. So let's hear from Gugu. Gugu, it's the end of the journey. It's the end of the money boot camp. How has the last 6 months changed your life? Are you a different person? Are you a different Gugu?
I would like to think so, Maya. The past 6 months have really been incredible. It's been an amazing journey. Not an easy one. We've put in quite a lot of hard work. I've just been able to pay off so much debt, get rid of a credit card debt, personal loans, and study loans. But I've also been able to build up an emergency fund, create a tax-free savings account, and we've also started with estate planning, and also for my planning towards my retirement for my future. So it's really been quite a lot in the 6 months, but it's been amazing. I never thought that this would be possible in 6 months, but we did it. And I think the most amazing thing, or the most amazing changes that I've seen in myself, and it hasn't just been us paying off things and ticking off things from our plan, but I've seen behavior changes. my relationship with money has definitely changed. I'm not that impulsive buyer anymore, but I'm having a relationship that respects money, that says, are we able to afford this before we buy anything impulsively? Are we able, can we save, for something before we buy something? The peace of mind, I think sometimes we take it for granted. Mental health and finances, and I know I always talk about it, but it's really been, I think, for me, the biggest take from this program or boot camp. But peace of mind that I have enough to meet my monthly obligations. I am able to pay off my monthly expenses without any anxiety, without any worry anymore. I know I'm able to meet those monthly obligations, but I'm also able to save for my future. And I'm also able to splurge a little on myself every month. And that's incredible. That was something that I wasn't able to do before. I was always worried, always anxious, at the end of the month, what will happen. But that peace of mind has really been life-changing.
And I mean, I must say, you did in the beginning when we first met, you were very, stressed. And, within 2 months, there was just this new Gugu. And I said to you, Gugu, what's happened? This is not the same person that I started with, 2 months ago, even in such a short space of time. But what you told me, what I found very interesting, is that when you joined Money Makeover, you had already done a personal finance course. You'd gone and done a course, but you hadn't changed your behavior. So what do you think has been the difference of doing this versus just doing a personal finance course on your own?
Well, I always say it's all good and well to do a 1 or 2 day finance workshop. But I think, for me, having Michelle, my advisor there, holding my hand, having somebody really to walk this journey with me has been really great. And, she called me one day and she was like, hey, I'm your financial advisor. Let's do this. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And we drew up a plan and we stuck to it. We put in the work every month. I mean, Michelle will call me and she will call me. But, she's been there. Both my advisors have been there. They've walked this journey with me. They have made sure that we stick to that plan as much as possible. They were excited for me. They called me. They were excited for this journey for me. They were excited that we excited. We want to help you. And I got motivated. I was motivated. I will forever be grateful to Michelle and Rikesh. Forever be grateful, because I always say this is something that is going to help me in the future. And rightfully so. I mean, my behavior has changed. A lot of things have changed, but they've been there in those 6 months, literally holding my hand. Yes, I've tried to do this on my own before, but it never made sense. I didn't even think I could. But having people who believe in what we're trying to do and who are really invested in you, it's great. It's great.
And I think it is important. This is why we've done the money makeovers, because I do think, we're trying to highlight the role of financial planners and advisors in being able to hold your hand. And it does help when somebody's holding you accountable. It really does. But just my last question to you, Gugu, is, you took quite a drastic step to get your finances right. You actually moved back home. You used COVID as an opportunity because you could leave your work, the Pretoria where you were working. You went home to Winterton. How did that feel? Asking for help, going to your family and saying, I'm stuck, I need help. It took a lot of guts.
It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing at first. It was one of the toughest things I've ever done. It was just so tough. Having that awareness that you know what, I'm way in over my head. I need the help, you know. I'm not coping anymore. I'm really struggling. Now I have to take or sell this car, and now I have to pack and move back home, you know. But I think it was an important decision that I had to make for myself. Every day was a struggle because I had to constantly reassure myself that I was doing the right thing. Do you understand? Because everybody around you is like, why did you do that? That is such a dumb thing to do. Why would you take your car? You know, why did you sell your car? Why would you let go of your apartment? And I had to not listen to the noise because I had to take responsibility for the decisions that I'd made. And those were not the best choices that I made. And unfortunately, you know, I just had to take responsibility for that. And I had to know that I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my future, you know. And you know, if I could go back home for 6 months or for however long, just to get my finances in order, I had to do that. There was just no way. It's just that it was really tough. It's tough asking for help, and you know, but I had to be honest with myself. Having that awareness, being honest with yourself, understanding that you know you made these choices and now you have to take a responsibility for them, and it's just for a short while. If you have people there who are helping you, who are able to assist you, it's not going to be forever, but you will get back to where you need to be. And only you, as a person, you are able to make those choices, to go out there and to seek help if you need it.
Absolutely, Gugu. And I think it is brave. It is a brave step to ask for help. It's a brave step to admit when you're not coping. And I think you were very brave in doing that. And it did allow you to turn your life around. So well done. And well done on the journey so far. And I'm really amazed at this person who has transformed. The Gugu that I interviewed right in the beginning, and the Gugu there sitting now is a very different woman. So I'm really proud of you and well done.
Thank you so much, Maya. Appreciate it. We appreciate all of you and the advisors. We're really grateful for this journey. We're just really grateful to all the sponsors as well. Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was from Gugu, and I see Rakesh is online. So Rakesh, you got a mention over there. That was her business mentor. Now on to Luandile, and you know, when I got Luandile's application, I have to just tell you what really stood out was when he wrote that he wanted to practice his wife's financial wisdom, and I just thought that was such a brave statement, and it showed respect for his wife and an acknowledgement he wanted to do better and all of those things. I don't know, that just touched my heart. And I also love the concept that he had of starting a family business to employ family so they could become financially independent. So let's hear now from Wandile. So Wandile, I asked Wandile, I must just tell everybody, to tell me how he found the last 6 months of his journey. And I didn't know that you were a poet at heart, and you wrote a poem about it. And I want you to read the poem for us, please, about your journey over the last 6 months.
Sure, thanks, Maya. So I did write a tribute poem, and it goes something like this. Absa City Press Money Makeover. To what shall I compare you? A personal finances bootcamp and a dream come true. February, I sent my entry in and hoped to be chosen. Now I write for a chance to win, having had personal best records broken. Advised to collect all my slips by Tienas right at the beginning. 5 months later, in my spend I see clearer. My groceries has had a 21% premium. Let's open an account, we agreed, but not one for clothing or credit. This one will earn us the interest, not charge us. It's Absa's one called the notice deposit. Into it we frequently transferred as we fastened our belts ever tighter. And now 12K has been saved up. Would have been more had my wife's phone not packed up. Do you have a will? Asked TP. It's like your own balance sheet, he said. We put one in place and stored it away till reviewed to prevent interstate. The live events on Facebook were sneaky, but I managed to attend two. From home loans to funds for ED, Absa's trove I beheld from these few. When all has been said and all's been done, much wisdom on money I've applied. Car and house rental projects are well on their way, and the business I've just begun.
Well done. It was just so clever, very, very clever. Now, Wandile, when we got your application in, your letter in right at the beginning, I have to confess, one of the reasons I chose you was because you said that you wanted to be more like your wife when it came to managing money, because she's a sensible, practical woman and you could learn from her. And I want to know, do you think you've achieved this and do you think it's sustainable?
Yeah, so you're quite correct. My main objective was to try and practice my wife's financial wisdom, I call it. I think for the duration of the journey that we've been on, I've certainly done well in terms of adopting good practices, good financial habit practices from her, and adopting them for myself and I guess for the family at large. So I'm quite happy with the way I've proceeded in the journey. I think it's a continuing practice. So, I mean, I've rated myself a pass, I would say, but I certainly then need to strive for the highest grade when it comes to that, for the A+. I look at things that my wife would be doing even before we got married, and that I learned about when we got married. And it's such innate wisdom that I find she practices when it comes to her finances, things like, spending what she has, not going into debt and all of that. So I've looked to practice it, but I thought I'd use the journey, the challenge, the Money Makeover challenge to really adopt it fully and to implement it. And I think I've managed to do so to a larger extent, Maya. I do think it's sustainable with her support that she's continued to offer. So I can only build on what I've started, Maya.
Well done, but you have certainly built a fantastic base. And one of the things that we put you through in this challenge was drawing up a business plan for your cleaning business. I know that was quite a challenge, but what were the key lessons that you've learned from that?
Yeah, firstly, not to be taken aback by the length of the template, because I mean, I was quite shocked when I saw how long it is. But nonetheless, DNS or TP, as I've referred to him in the poem, and as I've continued to refer to him as we've grown fonder of each other, just mentioned that, look, write it and just write a day in the life. So envision, yourself going through a day in the life of the business. So, I mean, it really helped to position it in a certain way, in a sort of a more understandable and less daunting way. There was a lot to learn. I think one is the business is in Vereniging and in the Val in Van der Bijl Park. So one, we needed to get an understanding of the market, and again, TNS came in and helped from a practical perspective in terms of how the predominant households in those type of surroundings would be run, and the cleaning that they would require, not only the regular cleaning, but things like spring cleaning, which they go big on, and they then look to have their windows done when the time comes around, like now when the spring rains. So knowing the market was a key one, and then also trying to determine whether there's any established in the market. So I called what seemed to me to be sort of an established cleaning franchise business, and sought their services for the area. And to my surprise, they didn't cover Van der Bijl Park, for example. And the closest reference they gave me to Van der Bijl Park was Johannesburg. So that's, for me, showed that maybe there is actually an opportunity indeed for us to go into the market as we are planning to. And one of the things that I found out as well in that research and in that engagement with the company was that the pricing needs to be right. So I think there's something about a humility of sorts that one needs to do away with when it comes to, for example, determining your pricing. So when we set our prices, I remember my wife mentioned an amount, and when checking what's in the market, we found that it was quite low. And the difficulty I felt with pricing low, yes, I mean, you probably can have people getting or wanting to get your service on the basis of a price, but price competition is not really sustainable. It's not a good differentiator. And also, it then becomes difficult to raise your prices once you've gone into the market, because, I mean, like I experienced the other day, the price of bread has just recently gone up. And I was surprised to see that. Yes, it was by a few, cents, but I still noticed it. So as a consumer, I think you want to do away with shocking consumers with price changes shortly having come into business, or even frequently. So pricing was an important one, and the science of pricing and knowing how to get that right. And I think then perhaps the last one that I'll touch on is just the importance of knowing the difference between having into the business versus the business being profitable. So obviously that's a clear and key distinction that needs to be made. And I guess all related to that is just having a proper financial plan itself for the business. Having started a business previously, I know that which didn't go well, so it failed. But I know that one of the reasons for that was that it didn't have, much as I had a proper B-graded business plan, I didn't have a financial plan for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, Wandile, what you've actually summed up at the end is probably true about every aspect of our lives. If we don't have a financial plan, if we don't know where our money's going, we can't be a success, whether that's in our personal capacity or in a business. So it actually to me, I do believe it all comes down to planning. And I just want to say thank you so much for the journey that we've done together. I've really enjoyed watching you grow and learn, and I've enjoyed your comments and your inputs. So thank you very much, Lwandile, for being part of the Money Makeover for 2021.
Thank you so much, Maya, and thank you to you for the experience, to Absa, to City Press, to colleagues from both of those organizations. And I think a special thank you to my wife as well for inspiring me to enter into the challenge and to strive for the financial wisdom and excellence that I've seen and practice practically in our lives.
Thank you. So that was our poet, Lwandile. On to the next candidate, Mareka. So Mareka is our single mom story. And I thought this would relate to those so many women in South Africa who are raising their children without the father in the home. And this, of course, brings another whole set of financial challenges. I also like the idea that Mareka was looking at side hustles to earn supplementary income. So she had a cake business. She also had done a TEFL course. And I thought I think this is a growing trend. We're seeing more and more is that it is harder to make ends meet. And many of us have to think about just those additional sources of income. So let's hear from Mareka. So Mareka, it's so great to chat to you. And, I'm thinking back now to when we had our first conversation in February. It's been 6 months, even a little bit longer now. How has your life changed? I mean, what has this Money Makeover bootcamp done for you in 6 months?
It's probably one of the best things I could have done. I think if I have to compare it to something, for example, I lived in the United States for 2 years, and everything I learned there, no one can teach that in a classroom. And it's the same with the Money Makeover Challenge. Everything I learned, I learned it best by being part of it, by participating. And I've got so much confidence now whenever I talk about my finances, and just knowing that Leanne gave me the necessary tools and skills that I need to be confident when dealing with things like my budget. Yeah.
But it's so true what you're saying, because it's actually in doing, not in being told. And I think that these are the skills that are not really, and I think even if you had to teach them at school, it's not so easy until you actually have to do it yourself. And I remember the one time I was chatting to you, and you were absolutely shocked to discover the costs of your store cards. And you were saying, but my mom had store cards. I thought store cards were a normal thing to have. And we worked out that you were paying 117 Rand a month just in fees and credit insurance and interest. I mean, that seemed to me to be quite an aha moment for you.
Yes, no, definitely. I can say with confidence now, I paid them off. And I actually went this past weekend. I closed both my accounts. I must still cut up the cards though, but they were closed, and it was as if there's a mountain lifted off my shoulders, because now I know I can put that 1,000 Rand that I was paying towards my accounts every month. I can put that into my emergency savings, and whenever I need the money to buy clothes, I know I can buy it in cash instead of having to buy it on my account and then have to pay it off at the end of the month. And Leanne, definitely, it was a big eye-opener the day when she told me, listen, yeah, you are paying 117 Rand a month towards interest, towards fees, keeping these accounts open, whereas you could have saved it and rather buy the clothes, cash. So it was definitely a big eye-opener, and it's such a big relief knowing that that's one less thing that I need to add to my budget every month, and that I could rather take the 1,000 Rand and put it towards my savings.
And I think that is that aha moment. Like you buy something now and just suddenly you realize that you got to keep paying for this. This is now part of your budget. And it's like, wait, hold on, I bought the item of clothing 6 months ago and I'm still paying it off. But Mareka, I know you had this cake business, and you had this passion to bake. You have beautiful pictures of your cakes. I haven't tasted them yet, but they look beautiful. And you said how you now need to transition from making them for friends to turning it into business. And I think we did set you the awful task of doing a proper business plan for it. So take us a little bit through your experience and what you learned from that. Just tell us a little bit more about the cake business.
Yeah, so Lunga definitely picked my brain with that business plan, but I surely learned a lot, and it's definitely something that will help me in the future if I do decide to really go big on the baking. But no, the baking actually went very well. I'm very excited about it. I'm still getting orders in, so I'll definitely keep this up after the competition. And it was very sad when we went down to level 4 lockdown in, was it June? And I unfortunately lost 3 clients then. And luckily for me, I had my TEFL certificate. So I was able to, even though I wasn't able to bake and make some money with that and put it towards my savings and my accounts, I could teach online, which really helped a lot. And then I used the money that I got from my teaching English online, and I put that towards my accounts as well as my emergency savings.
Actually, I think we've seen with COVID how important it is to have multiple income streams, not just the cake baking business. And I think, Mareka, what's also been very interesting for me with you has been that you are, we saw your budget. There wasn't much we could do. You were pretty good at budgeting, but because you're a single mom raising a daughter on a teacher's salary, it's not easy. And I think you've really highlighted how important it is for so many South Africans to have alternative income streams, because those are the incomes, that's that little extra bit of money that's helping you do the savings and the investing that you would have found very, very difficult to do off your salary.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And I wanted to say congratulations. It's been wonderful to see your journey. I loved seeing all those debts paid off, to see the business, your cake business. And I think I really have seen, this young woman who I think must have been quite scary for you, single mom, trying to make ends meet. And I think hopefully this challenge has left you off in a stronger position than you were at the beginning of the year.
No, definitely. I have to admit it was overwhelming at times and tiring, sitting up until 1 a.m. baking cakes or teaching English online in my bedroom with my child sleeping on my bed because she wants to be with me. But no, it was the best thing I could have done. I would do it again if I have the opportunity.
Well, thank goodness for that. You haven't scared the living daylights out of you. So thank you very much, Mareka.
Thank you, Maya.
So I was just thinking, Mareka, watching that video, that you could probably use some of that 5,000 Rand gift due from City Press to buy clothes now. After we close the store accounts. Now on to Nakawe's application. And when I received her application, I thought she's the classic person that illustrates that it's not about what we earn, but what we do with our money that results in financial outcomes, positive financial outcomes. And she had realized that she could be doing more with her money and building wealth. And this is an incredibly important story to tell. And I also loved her dream of wanting to start a poultry farm on her mother's tribal land, because I knew that was going to be a big story for many of our readers. So over to, and here's Nakawe's video. Nakawe, I remember getting your application. I got all those applications in February and whittling down and selecting them. What is your memory of that? And how has this changed your life in the last 6 months? Like, are you glad you entered, I suppose, is the question.
Yes, Maya, I'm glad I entered the competition. Though if I knew about the publicity that it has, I don't think I would have just jumped into it. But I'm glad, I entered the competition. No money could or can buy what I have gained from this competition. So it has changed my life and my family. It has brought us close together. We now talk financial matters with our kids at almost the same level, and we never expected that to be what it is.
And Nakawe, I've also been so impressed with the amount of debt that you've paid off. I mean, you had that personal loan. It was a big stress factor for you. I remember when we spoke, the first time we chatted, you spoke about this personal loan. It's something you never wanted to take on, and you had this, but you've really made incredible inroads in getting rid of that debt.
Yes, Maya, we did as a family. Yes, I did. This competition taught me something. Actually, it has brought the impossibilities out of the impossibilities. I never thought that I would be able to finish this loan in less than 2 years. I took it last year in Feb, and with the payment period of 5 years, and I'll be settling it on the 15th of October, which is less than a month. So this competition has taught us a lot, that we don't need much. With what we have, we can do anything that we want, as long as we plan properly, as long as we allocate funds correctly. Like when you're looking at your finances alone or as a family, there are things that you tend to overlook. So the presence of the financial advisors has helped us a lot.
I really do think that part of this journey is the financial advisors, having somebody to walk with the steps with you, show you where you can go, where you're going wrong, how you can reallocate funds. But you also, you've had quite a transition this year. One of your goals was to start an agricultural business, a poultry farm. And you're about to do it. I mean, this whole thing's coming to fruition. And I think, again, much sooner. This was a plan a couple of years down the line. It's already happening. Tell us a little bit about your poultry farm.
I always had this dream of running a free-range poultry farming project. And, as I've just said, this competition has brought so much change into my life. Now I look at things in a different way like I used to. So I had a plan, like a business plan of some sort for the poultry farm, but it was not up to date because I was doing it myself. But now having the advisors, people who've got much insight on the thing, has helped me a lot. And it has taught me that, with what I have, I can start the farm. I don't need to wait for somebody to come and rescue me. I don't need to wait for somebody to come and help me. Actually, I do have all that I need. It's just that I need to plan properly and just go for what I want. So I'm so excited about this project. It has taught me a lot, and it has helped me to build strategic relationship with competitors around myself. And this is something that I could have never thought of doing. So to get the proper business plan for this project, I had to go out and talk to people and find out as to what's happening out there. So it has just opened doors that I never thought I would enter into. So like now I've got people who are doing the same things, who are doing the same thing, who are more than willing to help me. And so my hand is held by other people. I'm also holding theirs, they are holding mine. So I'm just ready to fly.
Absolutely. And I think you're going to fly more than your chickens are going to fly.
I am.
And Nakawa, I just want to say you have worked incredibly hard in this competition. So yes, as much as we've given you the tools to reach it, you have also put in the work. So I think one must always reflect that these things do require work. They do require discipline. It's not just a magic wand that brings about these changes. So thank you for being part of this journey and sharing the journey with us, with all of us, all the followers, with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maya, for the opportunity. Thank you.
So that was Nakawa, and I must just tell you, I got a WhatsApp from her on Friday to say that loan is fully paid. So completely spot on. I mean, it's actually incredible that has been settled in just 6 months. And on to our final candidate for today, which is Stefan. And Stefan, when I got his application, 26 years old, newly married, and I thought, whoa, hold on, if I can get in there quickly, if we can get those good financial habits in early, we can really change this newlyweds' lives. And I think that's exactly what hopefully we have achieved. I could see when I was looking at their spending that they would sort of borrow to spend rather than save to spend. And I really believe that this would be a great opportunity for any young person, especially if they've recently got married, to work together on how do you start your finances? How do you start planning for the future together? And Stefan also had a vape shop, which employs his wife, and it needed some input. So we thought that would also be an interesting angle. So let's hear from Stefan. So Stefan, as our youngest candidate for Money Makeover, I know you really what you and your wife wanted to start you got newly married. You wanted to start your life on the right footing by entering the Money Makeover challenge. So how has your life changed in the last 6 months? Has it had an impact?
Yeah, it has happened. Like I said before, I went in with the mindset in this whole thing that it was near impossible to fix our financial problems, and we were depressed and all of that stuff in a hole. And sometimes you just need someone just to open your eyes for you. So we in the first conversation with the financial advisor that was allocated to me, it was discussed, and then she said we should look at consolidation, that take all of my small debt and to take one single loan and to pay off all of that small debt, and then to only have the one amount at the end of the month to pay, which is obviously less than all of that other stuff together, and with a more reasonable interest rate. So I will say it happened very quickly that I could realize the change. I was surprised at how quickly it happened.
And I mean, I think that is the power of debt consolidation. And the good thing is that you did it sooner rather than later. So a lot of people get into too much debt. They're now falling behind and they can't do debt consolidation because you have to have a good credit record or a reasonable credit record to do it. So it actually worked in your specific case. And it just took that pressure off and allowed you and your wife to breathe a little bit, I think. But also what I found interesting is, Zeti, your advisor, also said, don't just focus on the debt repayments, also start building up an emergency fund. And I think that also was extremely important for you this year, in the last 6 months.
Yeah, it also came in handy very, very quickly after we started to do it. So with the consolidation, it freed up a bit of extra money. So we immediately started to put away money for, like you call it, the emergency fund. And then Directly after that, there were like COVID tests, and with that, it was all of the medicine. And we also in this time of Money Makeover, we moved to another apartment, and that also costs money. So there was, from the previous apartment, there was like a backlog of municipal bills. So that helped immediately, and now we can start to build on the emergency fund and to save money.
And I mean, it's actually, you both got COVID. I mean, you actually both were very ill with it. And it's quite interesting. So, I mean, you're obviously employed. I'm sure your employer probably gave you some sort of, paid leave. But of course, your wife worked in a vape shop. So it just brought home, I think for many people, just what COVID can do, especially if you're self-employed and you can't go into go into work. And there's no bill, nobody to pay your salary if your shop's not open. But talking about your vape shop, I know it's been difficult. It's something you're still reviewing, looking at it, seeing what's going to work. But what do you think you've learned about it in terms of business skills going forward?
Yeah, the business was the most difficult part, and it still is, because it's something you start and you have this idea, and obviously you are proud of it, and you don't want to let go of it that easily. So and yeah, my mindset is always like going in that way. But I will say, planning, like we've heard, this whole Money Makeover business plan, but I won't say like the business plan itself was that bad or not thought through. But I think the planning with finances, with the startup finance. So for instance, we just borrowed enough money to start up to buy the first stock, and then just to go on from there. So there was from the start, no extra capital. So for instance, at the end of the month, you can pay all of your overheads, but you can't grow your business. And then you are in a situation that you actually have to sell stuff, to sell stock, to buy stock. And that is where you get behind quickly. And then when you are at the end of the month and you can't buy stock, you can't make money. And then that is also where we did, on 2 occasions, also made 2 separate small loans, where we could have avoided it if we just had enough or extra capital from the start.
And I think that is always difficult, when you are starting a business. It is usually what we call bootstrapping. You are usually doing it with just a little bit enough capital. But I think, if I look at any business that starts, it always takes longer to get on your feet than you realize. And I suppose that's probably one lesson is, you don't want to wait forever to start a business, but maybe having a bit more capital in the beginning, can make life a little bit easier. But Stefan, well done. I know this has been quite a significant challenge for you. Your work has been flat out. You and your wife have both had to deal with being sick with COVID, but well done for sticking it out. And I really hope that the lessons that you've learned over the last 6 months will put you in good stead going forward. And you're just going to build from strength to strength.
Yes, thank you, and thanks for the opportunity. It was a great learning curve.
Well, that brings us to the end of Meet the Candidates section of this discussion today, or the webinar today. But because we had such a focus on small business, I want to welcome Bongiwe Gangene, who is Deputy Chief Executive at Absa Retail and Business Banking, just to give a little bit of insight into the role of the side hustle and entrepreneurs in our current economy.
Good morning and a warm welcome, and thank you for joining us on the Money Makeover Challenge, the finale that is today. When we started on this journey with our partners, the City Press, as well as Maya, As Absa, we were quite keen on giving our customers a platform through which they could hone in on their financial skills and hopefully be on their way to financial wellness. But I think what has been most exciting for me after having seen what the finalists have gone through is the entrepreneurial spirit that has been ignited from the finalists that have been part of this journey. I'm particularly excited that almost all of our finalists have either started a side hustle or are in the process of starting a side hustle. That entrepreneurial spirit is what this country needs. For a country where we have an unemployment rate that is at the level that it is, entrepreneurs that are creating businesses out there not only create employment for themselves, but create employment for a broader society and community. So that for me has been a fantastic outcome out of what has been an amazing journey. I do hope that our finalists have seen this as a great opportunity to learn, and that you have gained a lot of skills that will not only come in handy in your personal lives, but also as you manage your hustles and hopefully grow the businesses that you've created. As Absa, we think that the SME market is a very important part of growing this economy, and therefore we are very focused on providing the right level of support to our small businesses. Obviously, it is a market that is growing, it is a market that is evolving, and so we are very intent on ensuring that we always understand the needs of our small businesses and that our solutions talk to those needs. We hope to continue to be your partner as you grow, both in your personal capacity, but also as a small business owner. Once again, I'd like to take this opportunity to say a big congratulations to all of you and all of the very best with your future endeavors. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that message. But now we move on to the nerve-wracking part, okay? This is where we decide or announce the winners of the 2021 Money Makeover Challenge. And I have to tell you, it is an incredibly hard job for me, because I fall in love with all of my candidates and I just want everyone to win. And I'm not allowed to do that because I have to choose a winner, or not I do, the team chooses a winner. So I just want to explain how we go about selecting a winner for the challenge. All of you would have seen the criteria. They were given to you up front. We were reminded at the end when you did your motivation letters. This is around, doing a budget, sticking to it, having a debt repayment plan, having savings plans, emergency funds, financial planning around retirement and wills, as well as meeting your original goals. And those are the ones that really carry the most weighting when we look at the final numbers. But we also have additional criteria. They may have less of a weighting, but they do actually make a difference when you add them up. And those are things like the responsiveness and communication, social media engagement. And if we recognize anything that the candidate did beyond the requirements, any sort of special achievement over the last 6 months. We sat as a team. We had some of the Absa credit team there, Peter and Henrietta. We had Lisa, who you're familiar with, and Sarah. We had Gail from City Press and Marlene, who works with me and who manages all the social media side of Money Makeover. And we spent 2 hours going through the numbers, crunching the numbers, and discussing, the various merits of each candidate. I do just want to say, before I hand over to Liesel, who's going to have the unenviable job of announcing the winner, that this year the winner was actually very, very clear. This person's score was very high, and I think possibly the highest we've had in the competition to date. So I'm going to hand over to Liesel. It is your show now, Liesel. Oh, I think Liesel may be on mute.
I think I did the same last year as well. Hello, everybody. I want to start by quickly telling you about a book from my childhood that I recently rediscovered. I think in COVID, I started reading far more again. The book is called The Little Prince, and it was first published in 1943 in French. It's a little French book that's been translated into more than 250 languages. And it tells the story of a pilot who, after crashing his plane in the Sahara Desert, then meets a young boy, and this boy is known as the Little Prince. And they grow on to build this friendship, and this boy then teaches the pilot some very big life lessons. And I quickly want to highlight two of the life lessons for you that I think is very relevant today. In the first story, the pilot tells the prince about the very first drawing that he ever made as a child. And this drawing was of a boa constrictor, the big snake, who ate an elephant. And all the adults, his parents and his uncles and his aunts who saw this picture, always saw the same thing, a hat. Now, at that stage, the pilot, as a boy, abandoned his love for drawing because he just thought that nobody sees what he sees, and he simply stopped drawing until this day when he met the Little Prince. And the Little Prince, who immediately saw the drawing for what it was, a boa constrictor with an elephant inside its belly. And I think the big lesson in all of this is, as we grow older, our curiosity and our creativity, we forget about that, and we forget to look beyond the surface and explore. And I'll get back to that. And the second lesson is when the Little Prince tells the pilot about the lamplighter. The lamplighter is a character in this book. The lamplighter is a guy who lives on a planet far, far away, and he must turn the planet's lamp on and off. Now, this planet, a day on this planet only lasts a minute. So the lamplighter, literally every minute, he either has to switch the lamp on or the lamp off for another day to come. And that's all he does in his life. He frantically switches this lamp on and off. And this meant that the lamplighter had no time for himself. Now, this magical book has a lot of life lessons, and I chose to highlight these two with a specific reason this morning. Two things that I want to tell you is, all of you went outside your comfort zones on the day that you entered this challenge. Hold on to that. Never stop being curious. Never stop having the courage to explore and look beyond the horizon and go and find solutions beyond the horizon in places that you never even thought was possible. Look beyond the surface, like the Little Prince taught the pilot to do. And secondly, take time for yourself. I think looking back on the past 6 months, I'm sure each of you can attest to the fact that you invested some time in yourself and that you actually took the time to do that. And I applaud you all for that. You did what the Little Prince was trying to teach the pilot. You've already done 2 of those things. So now for the big reveal and the moment that you've all been waiting for. And like Bongiwe said, I also want to say you are all winners. And you've conquered despite COVID and all its challenges. So firstly, I'm going to start with the end in sight. So we saw an interesting trend during the last 6 months. And when we looked at your entries and during the 6 months how it unfolded, all of you, most of you, had a little side hustle, and that side hustle had the potential of really becoming something big and aiding a lot to your budget every month. So in addition to taking each of you on a personal financial wellness journey, we also could assist you and guide you on, setting up a business plan and thinking a bit about where you actually want to take your little side hustle. So on that count, we would like to acknowledge 2 of the contestants who really went above and beyond with your business plans. Firstly, Mareka. I think, Mareka, you survived Lunga. I think he was a tough master to have on your side, and I think the journey that he took you on with your business plan was really tough. And those aha moments that you had along the way that you spoke about, and the store cards, but that those things were great. But I think the work and the dedication that you put into your business plan with Lunga really deserves a special mention. And then our poet, Luandile. I think you also really deserve special mention and a special pat on the shoulder for all the hard work that you put in with your business plan. You had no debt when you started this journey, and as you said, your dream was just to have some of your wife's financial wisdom, and we really hope that this has improved your financial wellness along the way. So for both of you, for Mareka and Luandile, we're going to deposit 5,000 Rand, a special bonus into your accounts, just for going that extra mile with your business plans. And I want to applaud you. That is our first surprise of the day. Then secondly, I get to the runner-up. The runner-up of the 2021 Money Makeover Challenge will receive 25,000 Rand in your bank account. And if I had a drum roll, I would have done the drum roll now. So drum roll, our runner-up for 2021 is young Gugu. When Gugu entered, she told us that she was really battling to make ends meet. And during the course of the 6 months, Gugu has paid off a whopping 64,000 Rand of debt. That is 3 times her monthly salary. She paid off in debt in 6 months. I want to actually say that again because it's quite amazing. Gugu has paid off 3 times her monthly salary in debt in the past 6 months. And she had to do a lot to get that right. She moved back home, she sold her car, and she sacrificed a lot. She managed to build up a savings buffer. She was very, very active on social media. We loved that. And I think that the 2 big lessons, Gugu, out of your journey is to tell people to start early. It's never too early to start making the right choices. And you also mentioned in your feedback that your mental health has improved over the last 6 months. The depression went away, and I think that critical link that I don't think we often place enough value on, that link between your happiness and your financial wellness. I think there you already look at that smile. I think that smile was very different 6 months ago. And well done. You are our runner-up. Now for the big moment, our winner of the 2021 Money Makeover Challenge, who will receive 75,000 Rand from Absa to help this individual grow their business. Our winner of the 2021 Money Makeover Challenge is Nokawe. I think before I go into too much detail, I'm so emotional as I'm sitting here. Nokawe, I must tell you, when Maya and I sat down way back when we got all of your entries, and I actually went back. I had a notebook with me at the time, and I made notes. And I read through my notes again last night, and Maya told us that we've got this entrant from Nelspruit, but she's very, very shy, and she's very, very introverted. And my, how you've blossomed over the last 6 months, that shy, introverted, scared individual that had so much things to overcome. You blossomed over the past 6 months. You started a WhatsApp platform where you now share your lessons with a group of women. And I think it's so important that we as women also share and empower other women. And this journey has also empowered your family, and especially your husband. And he's walked this road with you. And I think it's also placed your marriage. It's given it a whole new dynamic. And you've had to make some very, very tough choices over the last 6 months. And then this piece of ancestral land that you got, and that you had this dream of starting your free-range poultry business. You're about to launch that in November, and you've done all of this in 6 months. And it's just so amazing to see how you've blossomed and how you've grown into the woman I'm looking at now. And it's I'm so incredibly proud of you. And to Stefan and Audrey, you were not in the top 6, but I know that you've also, from just listening to your videos and reading your testimonies, we know that you've learned a lot, and that that will stand you in good stead as you go forward, and that you'll have many more aha moments, as Audrey also referred to it. So with that, I think we bring an end to the 2021 Money Makeover. Nokawe, we are incredibly proud of you, and I am incredibly proud to say that you will be our brand ambassador, our Money Makeover brand ambassador for the next year. And I think a well-deserving brand ambassador you are. And I think let's all give Nokawe a big round of applause. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Nokawe, do you want to?
Yeah, thank you so much, Gail and Maya. You know, I wish Elton was here to celebrate this with me, because he pushed me. He told me that, Nokawe, whatever that will come along our way, but we must make sure that we win this competition. And I told him that I was more comfortable, and the information that I'd already gotten, it's more than enough. So thank you so much to all the advisors, Lani, Manga, Maya, Elton in absentia, and all of you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations, and to you. As I said, you scored incredibly highly. You have achieved an exceptional amount in 6 months. So congratulations. And just again, to all of our candidates, every single one of you has worked hard. And you know, I think this has been a wonderful journey, and I hope we all keep in contact. I just have to warn you that Liesl creates a WhatsApp group for all of us, so we are all stuck together forever. And we can share your journeys going forward, because I'm going to make sure you all stay on track.
Maybe Maya, you can tell us quickly about the message you received about one of our previous year's candidates, Colin, just as an example of how our previous candidates actually stay on track.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I've got to go click check. I don't have it in front of me right now, but yes, I actually happened to touch base with his financial planner, or JP contacted me about something else, and I said, "Oh, how's Colin doing?" He says, "No, Colin's just bought his 9th property, and he's sticking to the plan, and he's growing his property business, and it's amazing." And I see this over and over again when we go back and we touch base with our previous year's candidates, how they continue to grow and are sticking to their goals, and it just makes me so happy, because I think sometimes one worries that people just kind of say, "Oh well, been there, done that," and sort of start off, go back to their old ways, and it actually doesn't happen. Probably because of that WhatsApp group, Liesl. But thank you, and I think we'll end off with that. But thanks, congratulations to everybody. And let's have one last final wave. Francois can go to one big gallery and wave everybody goodbye.
Maybe if anybody wants to say something, I mean, Francois, you can put people on screen. If anybody got anything on their heart, raise your hand, and we'll have a last word from you all. Luandile.
So thanks, Liesl, and thanks, Maya. I just wanted to really congratulate Nokawe. I've also been following the fellow contestants' journeys, and yeah, I mean, I even encouraged on the Money Makeover Facebook page. So really love what she's done, and wish her all the best with the launch as well. And thank you to City Press and to Absa for the journey. I know the journey continues. Even though the public side of it stops today for 2021, but thank you to everyone for the opportunity. I really enjoyed it.
Hi everyone. I just want to say congratulations to Nokawe for winning. You clearly deserve it, and I'm so happy for you. And the same to Gugu. Congratulations. You girls clearly deserve it. And then thank you to Maya and Liesl and Gail and Leanne and Lunga and everyone who helped me. I learned so much, and I'm encouraging my friends to actually enter the competition next year. Just to take part and just to learn as much as I did. And just thanks again to Leanne for all the tools that you gave me. It was such an eye-opener, and I will forever be thankful and grateful to all of you. Thank you so much.
Audrey, you're up next.
I would like to congratulate the winning candidates. You really deserve it. Well done. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Absa, City Press, Liesel, Sonia, my financial advisor. Thank you very much. What I've learned, I know it will help me for the rest of my life. So this has been a remarkable journey. Thank you, guys. And congratulations on the winners. You deserve it.
Googs, what? Our runner-up.
Yes, I would just like to congratulate all the participants. As the editor-in-chief mentioned earlier, we have all won. And I just want to also say a very special thanks to my advisors, Rikesh and Michelle. Thank you to the Absa City Press teams, to our photographers, to Gail, to Maya. Thank you so much also to our families that were there for us in this time. It was not an easy process. We certainly put a lot of work, and I guess this is a true definition of bringing possibilities to life. I mean, we have been set for the future. I'm looking forward to a future of financial freedom. And thank you to everyone, really. I would also like to just, mention that, the skills and the knowledge that we've learned here, we will be, paying it forward and just as Nokawi has been doing to help other people as well. Thank you.
Stefan.
Oh, you're on mute, Stefan. No. Still on mute. Just check. Francois, can you take him off mute?
Seems to be having audio issues on his side. Unfortunately, he is off mute.
Okay, Francois, we had Stefan. We had the same problem when we did the video. I don't know what was. Remember, we had to reset it or something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just also want to say thank you very much for the opportunity. And yeah, it would have been great to meet all of the contestants. But yeah, congratulations to the winner and the runner-up, and to all of the contestants. Yeah, it has been a great journey. Thank you.
Super. Well, thank you, and congratulations. And I think you're all going to also be getting a little something from Liesel. Liesel, I think you sent them all a little voucher as well. So I mean, the prizes and awards just keep coming. So.
Yeah, the voucher is all about, we normally get together to do a lunch, and due to COVID and the restrictions, we're not allowed to do lunch. So I'll be during next week going to send you each a special Woolies voucher. Please go and buy, whether it's your choice what you want to do, but the hope is that you'd buy a special meal to have with your families. And let's all then, while we have the meal, raise our glasses to each other next week. Enjoy.
Super. And I hope to meet all of you in person over the next year as I travel around South Africa. Well, definitely, if I'm in your city, you'll be getting a call from me. So thank you. And I think that brings us to an end. So thank you, everybody. And thanks you, Francois, for managing the behind the scenes. And thank you. Over and out.